Today we are going to talk about the data types in Java and variables and their naming conventions. So start up with data types. What are data types? Basically the types of which the data are. Every programming language has to work on some or the other data. So the type of data which we are going to use, it needs to be defined in the programming language. For that we have data types. So this data type defines the proper use of identifier or an expression, and what type of data can be stored in the identifier or an expression, and in what kind of operations can be performed on this identifier or expression. Because if I write something like this, 10 plus 20, you will straight away tell that it will be 30. But what if I write 10 plus name? What you'd say about this? This seems logical. This doesn't, but the computer doesn't know. So you have to tell them, or tell the compiler and system that no, this is not possible. You have to have similar data types, and what this is, this is an integer and this is a string. This is how data type is important. It plays a role. One more thing, that what if I do something like salary into say years? Is it possible? First time if you say that two words you are multiplying, it may not be possible, but in programming language these are variables, and when you multiply, and if these variables are defined as integer or floating type, then this is very well possible in a programming language. It's the same is in Java as well. So we have certain type of data types which we are going to elaborate later also. First is numeric. What are numeric data types? These are like 20 I said, 3.14, this is a floating type. Then we have strings. What are strings? Strings, anything which is inside a double quotation. Even if you don't write anything inside double quotes, it will be a string. It is called a null string. Say my name, this is a string. And characters, this is again a data type. What are characters? Characters are basically those alphabets, you can say, or those values which are available on the keyboard, which is enclosed by a single code. Like if I do this is a character, this is a character, T character, and I'll elaborate it more later. And finally the Bullion. What is Bullion? Bullion is true or false. Bullion is 0 or 1, that is true or false. So let us see them in detail now. We talk about numeric data type. So first of all, there are two types of numeric data types, integral and floating point values. What are there in integral? We have integer and then long. There are two types, integer, long, and short also. If I write byte also or character, this will also be true, because internally character are treated as integers only. But still, for the sake of completion and category wise, these are the integral data types. They have certain bytes to their name depending upon the system, and they have certain range. They may be 8-bit, they may be 16-bit, and so on. But the other data type, which we call as floating point types, these are two, float and double. So how these are different? this does not contain any decimal value, but float and double has decimal value, and float has around 127 digits after the decimal point it can have, and double can have 1023 values after decimal point. This is the difference. And talking about this float and double, it has to have a decimal value. Okay, we have to have a decimal. Now coming to byte has, it is 8-bit, and the size is minus 128 to 127. This is the size. And then short also, as I already said, it is from minus 32768 to 32767. The size is decided by the number of bytes it takes, number of bit it takes. 2 to the power of 8, say, if there is a number, 2 to the power 16 is a number, that is the size. Now coming to character is internally an integer only, as I already mentioned, because it is taking a ASCII value, and ASCII value is a integer, because computer does not know what is A or B. It knows the number like 56 or 97 and so forth and so on. Then we have string. Okay, string is not a data type. It is a class. String is a class. It is not a built-in data type. It has large collection of methods which will use to manipulate the string. And string length is not defined. You can have any number you want, available memory you can have any number of character in that string. And string can be combined, it can be truncated, it can be capitalized. All that can be done on a string. And I already mentioned that even an empty string exists. Coming to Boolean, what is Boolean? Boolean is a built-in type data type. Okay, Boolean is like this. And what is that? It has true or false value. Like how? If we say my age is greater than 20, so it is either true or either false. Age can be greater than 20 or less than, so it can have either value true or false. So we'll use it in if, else, and while, and for. This is used very much. This is why Boolean is important. And now let us see the variables. What are variables? Variables are the name or of a memory location where the data will be stored, and it always has a type. Variable always has a type. So data stored in a variable, it is called a value. Variable name should start with a letter. Remember, A to Z only. It has to start with A to Z. If you say my value is 3val, it is incorrect. If you say my variable is say $x, this is wrong, because dollar cannot be used. There is only one special character that can be used, is my underscore val. Only this can be used. So don't start with a number, it is illegal. Don't have anything else than underscore. As number of alphabet you can use, and after that you can use numbers also, but only at the start you cannot have number. After that you can have number in the variable name. So this is the naming scheme of a variable. So no real limit in the length. Variable should be as small as possible. It should be meaningful, because if even after some time you see the program, you should have a glimpse, and then you can reiterate or recollect that okay, this was for salary, this was for interest. So it has to be meaningful, and it has to start with lower character. Like if I have a say variable name my value, how to give the name? We have to start with small, and then the next word is coming, it will be in capital. Okay, this is the logical way of giving the variable name. So we have talked about data types, we have talked about variable in Java.